The space station Nexus Prime floated in the darkness between stars. It was huge, bigger than most cities on Earth. Ships from different alien races came and went from its many docking bays. Today was different, though. Today would decide if humans lived or died. Ambassador So Young walked down the long metal hallway toward the council chamber. Her black hair was pulled back tight and her face showed no fear, even though her heart was beating fast. She carried a small briefcase with Earth's final offer inside. Behind her walked 2 human guards, but they looked tiny next to the massive alien warriors they passed. The council chamber was enormous. A curved ceiling stretched high above, covered in lights that looked like stars. Around a huge circular table sat the most powerful beings in the galaxy. So Young had seen pictures of them before, but seeing them in person was different. War Marshal Zextar of the Velrathi Empire sat to her right. He was 9 feet tall with dark red skin and forearms. His yellow eyes glowed as he watched her enter. Next to him was Overseer Prime Unit 7 from the Axiom Collective. It looked like a silver statue that had come to life, with blue lights pulsing under its metal skin. There were others too. The insect-like Hive Queen clicked her mandibles as So Young passed. A creature made of living crystal hummed with a sound like breaking glass. So Young counted 12 different alien species around the table. Every one of them saw humans as nothing more than pests. So the little human comes to beg again, Zextar said. His voice was deep and cruel. How amusing. So Young set her briefcase on the table and opened it. Inside were data tablets showing human colony worlds, population numbers, and resource reports. I come to make a fair deal, she said. Humanity offers to share our mining operations in the outer systems. We can provide rare metals that your ships need. The crystal being made that glass-breaking sound again. It was laughing. Humans think they have something we want? It said in a voice like wind chimes. Your entire species produces less than one of our automated mining stations. Prime Unit 7's blue lights flashed faster. This unit has analyzed human technology. Your fastest ships are slower than our cargo vessels. Your weapons cannot penetrate basic shields. Your computers are primitive toys. So Young felt anger rise in her chest but kept her voice calm. We may be new to space, but humans learn fast. We adapt. We survive. Not for much longer, Zextar said. He stood up, all 4 arms spread wide. The Galactic Council has voted. Humanity's expansion must stop. Your species takes up space that useful races need. The Hive Queen's mandibles clicked rapidly. The culling protocols have been approved. Human colonies will be eliminated in 72 hours. So Young's blood turned cold. The culling protocols meant complete destruction. Every human settlement outside of Earth would be destroyed. Billions of people would die. You cannot do this, she said. Humans have done nothing wrong. Wrong? Zextar laughed. You exist. That is wrong enough. The galaxy belongs to the strong, not to weak mammals who still use chemical rockets. Prime Unit 7's head turned towards So Young with mechanical precision. Human military forces consist of 47 corvettes, 12 frigates, and 3 destroyers. Total combined firepower is insufficient to damage a single council dreadnought. Resistance is futile. Around the table, the other aliens nodded or made sounds of agreement. To them, this was not a debate. It was a formality before an execution. So Young looked at each of their faces. She saw no mercy there, no chance for peace. These beings had ruled the galaxy for thousands of years. They were used to weaker species begging for their lives. I see, she said quietly. She closed her briefcase and stood up. Then there is nothing left to discuss. Indeed, Zextar said. You may return to your pathetic homeworld and prepare for the end. We are generous enough to give you time to say goodbye. As So Young walked toward the door, she heard them talking behind her. They were already discussing how to divide up human territory. The Velrathi wanted the mining worlds. The Axiom Collective was interested in Earth's biological diversity for their experiments. Outside the chamber, So Young's hands shook as she activated her secure communicator. It took several minutes to establish a connection through the quantum relay network back to Earth. Earth Command, this is Ambassador So Young, she said. The negotiations have failed. They gave us 72 hours. The voice that answered was calm and steady. Understood, Ambassador. Return to Earth immediately. Operation Titan is now active. So Young felt a chill run down her spine. She had heard whispers about Operation Titan for years, but nobody would tell her what it was. Even her security clearance was not high enough. Far away in the cold darkness between Jupiter and Saturn, Captain Tejo stood on the bridge of something impossible. Around him, his crew worked at stations that hummed with power. The screens showed him everything. The alien fleets moving toward human space, the council meeting where So Young had just failed to save their species. "Sir," said Communications Officer Ye Jin, "we have the signal from Earth Command. All stations report ready." Taeho nodded. He was a quiet man with graying hair and calm eyes. He had been waiting for this moment for 15 years. "Send the message to all departments. Tell them it is time." Chief Engineer Minji's voice came over the ship's intercom system. "All reactors are stable. Weapon systems are charging. We are ready to show them what humans can really do." Through the massive windows of the bridge, Taeho could see stars stretching away in all directions. Somewhere out there, alien fleets were moving to destroy his people. They thought humans were weak. They thought human ships were toys. They were about to learn how wrong they were. "Helm," Taeho said. "Set course for the Proxima Centauri system." "Maximum speed, yes, sir," replied Navigator Yunhai. "Quantum tunnel drive is ready." Taeho smiled for the first time in months. "Then let us introduce ourselves properly to the galaxy." The ship around him was alive with energy. 15 kilometers of human engineering and determination. For 30 years, it had waited in the shadows. Now it was time to step into the light. The aliens thought they knew what humans were capable of. Tomorrow they would learn the truth. Deep in the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter, something massive began to move. The UES Goliath had been hidden there for 30 years, disguised as just another piece of space rock. Now its true form was revealed. Captain Taeho stood at the center of the bridge as his ship came alive around him. The Goliath was not like other human ships. It was 15 kilometers long and 3 kilometers wide. Its hull was made of a metal that did not exist anywhere else in the galaxy. Terranium, discovered in Earth's core and forged in the heart of the sun itself. "All sections report ready, sir," said Tactical Officer Hyunwoo. He was young but had trained his whole life for this moment. His fingers moved across holographic displays that showed every system on the massive ship. "The crew is at battle stations." Around the bridge, 200 officers worked at their posts. Each one knew that today would change everything. For 30 years, humanity had pretended to be weak while building the most powerful warship the galaxy had ever seen. "Engineering report," Taeho said. Chief Engineer Minji's voice came through the speakers. She was down in the engine room, 3 kilometers away from the bridge. "Sir, all 6 quantum cascade reactors are online. Power output is at maximum. The aliens have never seen anything like this technology. The quantum cascade reactors were humanity's greatest achievement. While alien ships use simple fusion power, humans had learned to chain quantum reactions together. Each reactor produced as much energy as a small star. Together they could power weapons that could crack planets." "Weapons status?" Taeho asked. Weapons Specialist Dongsu looked up from his console. He was a big man with scars on his hands from working on experimental weapons. "Sir, all systems are ready. The Stellar Lance cannon is charging. Secondary weapons are loaded and ready to fire." The Stellar Lance cannon stretched along the entire length of the ship. It was not just a weapon. It was a way to capture the power of stars themselves and turn it into a beam of pure destruction. Around it were hundreds of smaller weapons, plasma torpedo tubes, rail cannons, and laser batteries. "Defensive systems?" Taeho continued. "Aegis shield matrix is active," Hyunwoo reported. "Sir, we could probably survive inside the sun with these shields running." The Aegis shield matrix was another human innovation. Instead of one big shield like alien ships used, the Goliath had thousands of small shield generators all over its hull. Each one created a bubble of energy that could stop any known weapon. Even if some were destroyed, hundreds more would keep the ship safe. "Navigation set course for Proxima Centauri," Taeho ordered. Navigator Yunhai nodded. She was calculating the jump coordinates for their quantum tunnel drive. "Sir, the alien fleets are already moving toward our colonies. They have 800 ships heading for Proxima Centauri. 800 alien ships against 1 human ship. To anyone watching, it looked like suicide. But Taeho knew something the aliens did not. The Goliath was not just a ship. It was a message written in metal and energy that said humans would not go quietly into the dark. "Jump when ready," Taeho said. Space around the Goliath began to twist and bend. The quantum tunnel drive did not move the ship through space. It moved space around the ship. Reality folded like paper, and suddenly they were there. The Proxima Centauri system spread out before them. 3 human colonies orbited the red dwarf star. Orbital stations and mining platforms dotted the space around them. 2 million humans lived and worked here, unaware that death was coming for them. "Sir, we have incoming alien ships," Communications Officer Yejin announced. 847 vessels, Velrathi, Axiom, and 6 other species. On the main screen, the alien fleet appeared. Their ships were impressive. Sleek destroyers, massive cruisers, and dreadnoughts that bristled with weapons. But compared to the Goliath, they looked like toys. Admiral Korthak commanded the alien fleet from his flagship, the Domination. It was a Velrathi dreadnought 3 kilometers long, the largest ship in their fleet. Korthak had destroyed dozens of species and conquered hundreds of worlds. To him, this was just another day of work. "What is that thing?" Korthak asked his tactical officer. On his screen was the Goliath, floating alone between his fleet and the human colonies. The alien sensors could barely understand what they were seeing. The ship was too big, too powerful. Their computers kept reporting errors. "It appears to be a human vessel, sir," the tactical officer said, "but our sensors cannot determine its exact capabilities. It is unlike anything in our databases." Korthak laughed. "A human ship? They probably strapped engines to an asteroid and call it a warship. Ignore it. Begin the attack on the colonies." But as his ships moved forward, something strange happened. The human ship did not run away. It did not call for help. It simply sat there waiting. On the Goliath's bridge, Tejo watched the alien fleet approach. He could see their weapons charging, their shields powering up. They were confident. They had never lost a battle against humans. "Sir, they are targeting the civilian stations," Yejin reported. "First wave incoming." The alien fleet opened fire on the orbital stations around Proxima b. Bright energy beams and plasma missiles streaked through space. 3 stations exploded in brilliant flashes of light. Tejo watched 3,000 humans die in seconds. His jaw tightened. "All stations, this is Captain Tejo. You may fire when ready." The Goliath came alive with power. Along its hull, thousands of weapon ports opened. The Aegis shield matrix activated, creating a shimmering bubble of energy around the massive ship. To the aliens, it looked like a star had suddenly appeared in their midst. "Impossible," Admiral Korthak whispered. His sensors were going crazy. The human ship was generating more power than his entire fleet combined. Tactical Officer Hyunwoo spoke calmly into his headset. "All batteries target the enemy flagship. Plasma torpedoes fire." 50 plasma torpedoes launched from the Goliath's forward tubes. Each one contained enough energy to destroy a city. They streaked toward the Domination like falling stars. Admiral Korthak watched them coming and laughed. "Human weapons cannot penetrate Velrathi shields. Watch and learn how real warriors fight." The plasma torpedoes hit the Domination shields and exploded. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then the alien dreadnought's shields flickered and died. Emergency alarms screamed across the alien fleet. "That is impossible," Korthak shouted. "Our shields are the strongest in the galaxy." "Not anymore," Tejo said quietly, though the alien could not hear him. The second wave of torpedoes hit the Domination's hull directly. The alien dreadnought shook like a toy in a storm. Armor plating flew off in chunks. Secondary explosions rippled along its sides. All across the alien fleet, commanders stared in shock. One salvo from the human ship had nearly destroyed their flagship. Their sensors showed energy readings that should not be possible, but this was only the beginning. The Goliath had shown them its secondary weapons. Now it was time to show them what humans could really do. "Stellar Lance Cannon, prepare to fire," Tejo ordered. Along the length of the ship, collectors opened like flower petals. They began to drink in the light of Proxima Centauri itself, storing the power of a star inside the weapon that would change the galaxy forever. Admiral Korthak stared at his damage reports in disbelief. His flagship, the pride of the Velrathi fleet, was crippled. 3 decks were completely destroyed. Half his weapons were offline, all from one attack by a single human ship. "All vessels, concentrate fire on that thing," he roared into his communicator. "I want it destroyed." Across the alien fleet, 800 ships turned their weapons toward the Goliath. Energy cannons, plasma missiles, and quantum torpedoes filled the space between them. It was enough firepower to destroy a moon. On the Goliath's bridge, Captain Tejo watched the attack coming. The screen showed thousands of energy beams racing toward his ship. Any normal vessel would be turned to dust in seconds. "Aegis shield matrix at maximum power," reported Tactical Officer Hyunwoo. All defensive systems are ready. The alien weapons hit the Goliath like waves breaking against a cliff. The ship's thousands of shield generators created overlapping bubbles of energy that absorbed the impact. Blue light danced across the hull as the shields did their work. When the attack ended, the Goliath floated untouched in space. "Damage report," Taeho said calmly. "No damage, sir," Hyunwoo replied. "Shields are at 98%. In the alien fleet, silence fell over every bridge. They had just fired enough weapons to level a city, and the human ship had not even been scratched. Their sensors showed the impossible truth. The human shields were stronger than anything they had ever seen. "This cannot be happening," Admiral Korthak whispered. "Humans are primitive. Their technology is garbage." But his tactical officer was reading the sensor data with growing fear. "Sir, that ship is generating more power than our entire fleet. Its hull appears to be made of an unknown metal. And sir, it is charging something big." The stellar lance cannon ran along the entire spine of the Goliath. For 30 years, human scientists had worked to build a weapon that could channel the power of stars themselves. Now it was finally ready to fire. "Stellar lance at 50% charge," announced weapons specialist Dong-Soo. His hands moved across controls that had never been used in battle before. Target locked on enemy flagship. Around the massive cannon, space itself began to bend and twist. The weapon was drawing energy directly from Proxima Centauri, pulling the star's fire across millions of kilometers to focus it into a beam of pure destruction. "Sir, we are detecting massive energy buildup from the human vessel," the alien tactical officer reported. "Power levels are off our scales." Admiral Korthak felt fear creep into his heart for the first time in decades. "All ships, emergency jump. Get us out of here." But it was too late. The stellar lance cannon had reached full charge. "Fire," Captain Taeho said quietly. A beam of stellar fire erupted from the Goliath. It was not just light. It was the concentrated fury of a star, compressed into a lance of energy that moved at the speed of light itself. Space lit up like day as the beam crossed the distance to the alien fleet. The domination simply vanished. One moment it was there, a massive dreadnought that had conquered worlds. The next moment it was gone, turned to atoms by forces beyond imagination. The beam continued through space, striking 11 more alien ships before finally dissipating. 12 ships destroyed in a single shot. The alien fleet stared in horror at the empty space where their flagship had been. No weapon in galactic history had ever shown such power. "Impossible," whispered the captain of a Velrathi cruiser. "Nothing can generate that much energy." "The humans have done it," replied his science officer, his voice shaking. "They have learned to weaponize stellar energy itself." But Captain Taeho was not finished showing the aliens what humans could do. Along the hull of the Goliath, thousands of hatches opened. From each one came a stream of small objects that moved with purpose and intelligence. "Hunter-killer drones deployed," reported Chief Engineer Minji from the engine room. 2 million units now active. The hunter-killer drones were the size of shuttles but moved like living things. Each one had its own computer brain and weapons systems. They spread out from the Goliath like a swarm of deadly insects moving toward the alien fleet with terrifying speed. "What are those things?" an Axiom commander asked his tactical unit. "Unknown technology," Prime Unit 7 replied from the safety of its own ship. "They appear to be autonomous weapons. This does not match any known human capabilities." The drones reached the alien fleet and began their work. They were too small and fast for the big ship weapons to hit, but their own weapons could slice through alien armor like paper. Each drone was programmed with one mission: disable enemy ships without destroying them completely. Across the alien fleet, ships began losing power as the drones cut through their engine systems. Weapons went offline as the tiny attackers destroyed power conduits. Some aliens tried to fight back with small fighters, but the human drones were faster and smarter. "All ships retreat," Admiral Korthak's replacement shouted over the fleet communications. "Emergency jump! Get us out of here!" But the drones were faster than their jump drives. As alien ships tried to escape, the hunter-killers swarmed over them, disabling their engines before they could flee. In minutes, half the alien fleet was dead in space, powerless and helpless. The remaining ships that could still move began to scatter in all directions. The proud fleet that had come to destroy human colonies was running away like frightened animals. They had learned a terrible lesson about underestimating humanity. Captain Taeho watched the alien retreat with satisfaction. The battle was over, But the war was just beginning. He knew that news of this defeat would spread across the galaxy in hours. The aliens would not accept this humiliation quietly. "Communications, open a channel to all alien vessels," he ordered. Communications Officer Ye-Jin nodded. "Channel open, sir." Taeho's voice carried across space to every surviving alien ship. It was calm and steady, the voice of someone who held all the cards. "I am Captain Taeho of the United Earthship Goliath. You came here to murder innocent humans. You failed. Return to your masters and tell them this. Humanity is no longer hiding. We have shown you just one of our ships and a fraction of our power. Leave human space now or discover what else we have been building." In the alien fleet, commanders listened to the humans' words with growing dread. If this monster ship was just one of their vessels, what other surprises were humans hiding? "Tell your Galactic Council that the age of bullying weaker species is over," Taeho continued. "Humanity has arrived and we will not be pushed around anymore." The transmission ended, leaving the aliens alone with their fear. They had come expecting an easy victory against primitive humans. Instead, they had discovered that humanity possessed technology beyond their understanding and weapons that could destroy fleets. As the surviving alien ships limped away from Proxima Centauri, Captain Taeho turned to his crew. "Well done, everyone. But this is just the beginning. Set course for Earth. We need to prepare for what comes next." The Goliath turned away from the battlefield, leaving behind the wreckage of alien pride. Behind them, the human colonies were safe. Ahead of them, the galaxy was about to discover that humanity was far more dangerous than anyone had imagined. News of the battle at Proxima Centauri spread across the galaxy, faster than light itself. On 1,000 worlds, alien leaders gathered in emergency meetings. The impossible had happened. Humans had destroyed an entire Galactic Council fleet with a single ship. On the crystal world of Shard Prime, the leaders of the hegemony vibrated with panic. Their song speech filled their crystal palaces with sounds of fear and confusion. The humans had shown technology that should not exist. In the hive cities of Kolak, the swarm queens clicked their mandibles in agitation. Their collective minds struggled to understand how the weak mammals had become so powerful so quickly. But nowhere was the shock greater than on Velrathi Prime, homeworld of the Empire that had ruled the galaxy for 1,000 years. War Marshal Zextar stood before the High Command, his forearms shaking with rage. "Impossible," he roared, smashing his fist on the metal table. "Humans are nothing. They have no real technology. They barely discovered space travel." The holographic display showed the battle footage over and over. The massive human ship appearing from nowhere. The destruction of the domination in a single shot. The alien fleet running away like scared children. "The footage does not lie," said General Krastar, Zextar's younger brother. "This human ship destroyed Admiral Korthak and 12 other vessels with one weapon. Their defensive systems stopped the combined fire of 800 ships. Zextar's yellow eyes burned with fury. "Then we will bring more ships. The Grand Armada will crush these humans." Across the galaxy, the same conversation was happening in every alien capital. The Galactic Council had been built on the idea that some species were superior to others. The strong ruled the weak, but humans had just proven that the Council's strongest fleet could be beaten by a single enemy ship. On Axiom Central, Prime Unit 7 analyzed the battle data with mechanical precision. Its blue lights pulsed faster as it processed the impossible readings. The human ship had shown power output levels that violated known physics. Their weapons technology was centuries ahead of anything in Council databases. "Analysis complete," Prime Unit 7 announced to the other Axiom units. "Probability of human technological advancement without outside help, 0%. Conclusion: humans have discovered new principles of physics." The news was even more disturbing than simple military defeat. If humans had made breakthroughs in basic science, they might have other surprises waiting. The Axiom Collective had built their empire on technological superiority. Now that advantage was gone. Meanwhile, on Earth, Fleet Admiral Jae Sung stood in the war room deep beneath the Swiss mountains. Around him, holographic displays showed the movement of alien fleets across dozens of star systems. The aliens were gathering their forces for a massive counterstrike. Ambassador So Young had returned from Nexus Prime with news of the Council's threats. She stood beside the Admiral, watching the tactical displays with worried eyes. "How many ships are they bringing?" she asked. "Our best estimate is 5,000 vessels," Admiral Jae Sung replied. Ships from 12 different species, including some we have never seen before. They are calling it the Grand Armada. So Young felt her heart sink. The Goliath had defeated 800 ships, but 5,000 was a different matter entirely. Can the Goliath handle that many? Admiral Jae-sung smiled for the first time in days. Ambassador, there is something you need to know. Something that has been classified above your security level until now. He touched a control on his desk, and the holographic display changed. Instead of alien fleet movements, it showed 5 massive shapes floating in space near different human colonies. The Goliath is not alone, he said quietly. For 30 years we have been building 5 Titan-class warships. They are all operational now. So Young stared at the display in amazement. 5 ships like the Goliath existed. Why did nobody tell me? Because if the aliens had discovered our secret too early, they would have acted differently. Admiral Jae-sung explained. We needed them to think humans were weak until we were ready to show our true strength. The 5 Titan ships were spread across human space. The Behemoth protected the mining colonies near Vega. The Leviathan guarded the research stations at Wolf 359. The Colossus watched over the agricultural worlds of the Tau Ceti system. The Ragnarok patrolled the Outer Rim territories. And the Goliath, the first and most powerful, was racing back toward Earth. Captain Taeho stood on the bridge of the Goliath as it traveled through quantum space toward the Sol system. The journey that would have taken months for normal ships was completed in hours by the quantum tunnel drive. Sir, we are receiving transmissions from the other Titan ships, Communications Officer Ye-jin reported. All captains request permission to rendezvous at Earth. Permission granted, Taeho replied. It is time for the galaxy to see what humanity has really been doing for the past 30 years. Navigator Yun-hai looked up from her console. Sir, our sensors are detecting massive fleet movements throughout the galaxy. The aliens are gathering everything they have. Taeho nodded. He had expected this. The destruction of the Velrathi fleet would not go unanswered. The aliens would come with overwhelming force, thinking that numbers could defeat human technology. How long before they reach Earth? He asked. At current speed, the alien fleets will arrive in 6 days, Yun-hai calculated. They are converging from multiple directions. 6 days to prepare for the largest space battle in galactic history. 6 days to show the aliens that humanity would not be pushed around anymore. Contact Earth Command, Taeho ordered. Tell them to begin Operation Prometheus. Operation Prometheus was the final phase of humanity's secret plan. For decades, humans had been preparing for this moment. Hidden shipyards throughout the solar system began working at maximum speed. Automated factories that had been disguised as asteroid mining operations revealed their true purpose. The aliens thought they knew how many ships humans had. They were about to discover how wrong they were. On the bridge of his flagship, War Marshal Zextar reviewed the plans for the Grand Armada's attack on Earth. 5,000 ships from the most powerful species in the galaxy would converge on the human homeworld. Nothing could survive such an assault. We will show these mammals the price of defying the Galactic Council, he told his officers. When we are finished, there will be nothing left of their pathetic species but space dust. But deep in the computers of the Axiom Collective, Prime Unit 7 was running calculations that filled its processors with something resembling dread. If humans had built one ship like the Goliath, they might have built others. If they had discovered new physics, they might have other surprises. The probability calculations were disturbing. There was a real chance that the Grand Armada might not be enough. As alien fleets raced toward Earth from across the galaxy, humanity prepared for its greatest test. The secret was out now. The galaxy knew that humans were more dangerous than anyone had imagined, but the aliens had not yet seen the full extent of human preparation. Soon they would learn that the Goliath was just the beginning. Humanity had spent 30 years getting ready for this moment. The galaxy was about to discover what humans could accomplish when they were fighting for their survival. The final battle was coming, and it would determine whether humanity would take its place among the great powers of the galaxy or be crushed by the combined might of every alien species that feared them. The Grand Armada arrived at the edge of the Sol system like a storm of metal and energy. 5,000 ships from 12 different species formed the largest fleet in galactic history. War Marshal Zextar commanded from his new flagship, Galaxy's Wrath, a super dreadnought twice the size of his previous vessel. There it is, he said, staring at the small yellow star ahead. the pathetic system where the humans were born. Today we end their threat forever. Around his flagship, the alien fleet stretched for thousands of kilometers. Felrathi battle cruisers flew alongside Axiom war machines. Crystal ships from the Shard hegemony hummed with deadly energy. The insect vessels of the Swarm Collective moved in perfect formation. Every major power in the galaxy had sent their strongest ships. "Sir, we are detecting 5 large signatures near Earth," reported the tactical officer. On the main screen, 5 massive shapes appeared against the backdrop of space. The alien fleet had expected to find Earth defended by the single ship that had destroyed their forces at Proxima Centauri. Instead, they found 5 Titan-class warships waiting for them. "Impossible," Zextar whispered. "How many of those monsters do they have?" The 5 human ships hung in space like sleeping giants. The Goliath took position at the center, flanked by its sister ships. Each one was 15 kilometers of human engineering and determination. Together, they formed a wall of metal and energy that protected the birth world of humanity. Captain Tejo stood on the bridge of the Goliath, watching the alien fleet approach. He had fought at Proxima Centauri against 800 ships. Now he faced 5,000, but he was not alone. 4 other captains commanded ships just as powerful as his own. "All Titan ships report ready," Communications Officer Yejin announced. Captain Bora of the Behemoth, Captain Jinsu of the Leviathan, Captain Hyojin of the Colossus, and Captain Wuseok of the Ragnarok are standing by. Each Titan ship specialized in different types of warfare. The Behemoth carried massive kinetic weapons that could punch through any armor. The Leviathan was equipped with electronic warfare systems that could blind entire fleets. The Colossus housed automated factories that built combat drones in real time. The Ragnarok mounted experimental weapons that could tear holes in space itself. "Athena Online," announced the ship's artificial intelligence. Athena was the most advanced computer ever built by humans, capable of coordinating all 5 Titan ships in perfect harmony. "All tactical systems ready. Enemy fleet composition analyzed." The alien fleet came to a stop just outside Earth's orbit. For several minutes, both sides stared at each other across the darkness of space. The fate of humanity hung in the balance. War Marshal Zextar opened a communication channel to the human ships. "Humans, you are outnumbered 1,000 to 1. Surrender now and we will make your deaths quick." Captain Tejo's reply was calm and steady. "War Marshal, you are trespassing in human space. Leave now or face the consequences." Zextar laughed, the sound echoing across every ship in his fleet. 5 ships against 5,000? "You mammals have truly lost your minds. You attacked our colonies without warning," Tejo continued. "You tried to murder billions of innocent people. Today you learn that humanity does not forgive such crimes." The communication ended, leaving silence in space. Both fleets prepared for the largest battle in galactic history. "All ships, attack formation," Zextar commanded. "Destroy those human monsters." The Grand Armada surged forward like a wave of death. Thousands of ships opened fire at once, filling space with energy beams and missiles. It was enough firepower to crack a planet. But the 5 Titan ships were ready. Their Aegis shield matrix systems activated simultaneously, creating overlapping fields of energy that absorbed the alien attack. Blue light danced across their hulls as the shields did their work. "All Titan ships, you may fire when ready," Captain Tejo ordered. The human counterattack began with the Behemoth. Captain Bora activated her ship's hammer protocol, launching massive tungsten rods at nearly the speed of light. Each rod weighed 1,000 tons and hit with the force of a nuclear weapon. Dozens of alien ships exploded as the kinetic bombardment tore through their ranks. The Leviathan followed with electronic warfare. Captain Jinsu activated his ship's neural storm array, sending waves of electromagnetic energy that scrambled alien computer systems. Across the enemy fleet, ships lost navigation, weapons control, and life support as their electronics died. The Colossus opened its manufacturing bays and released a cloud of combat drones. These were not the hunter-killers from Proxima Centauri. These were berserker drones built for one purpose: total destruction. They swarmed toward the alien fleet like metallic locusts. The Ragnarok fired its experimental void cannon, a weapon that created tiny black holes in space. Wherever the weapon hit, reality itself bent and twisted. Alien ships were pulled into the artificial singularities and crushed to atoms. And the Goliath charged its stellar lance cannon, drawing power from the sun itself. The weapon that had destroyed Admiral Korthak's flagship was now aimed at the heart of the Grand Armada. War Marshal Zextar watched his fleet dying around him and felt fear like he had never known. His sensors showed impossible readings. The human ships were generating more power than entire star systems. Their weapons violated every law of physics he knew. "All ships emergency retreat," he screamed into his communicator. "Fall back. Fall back." But Athena had predicted this move. The artificial intelligence coordinated all 5 Titan ships to surround the alien fleet. Every escape route was blocked by human weapons. "No retreat," Captain Tejo said quietly. "You came here to destroy us. Now face the consequences." The stellar lance cannon fired, sending a beam of concentrated stellar energy into the heart of the alien formation. The galaxy's wrath and 50 surrounding ships simply vanished, turned to atoms by forces beyond imagination. The battle that followed was not really a battle at all. It was a demonstration of human power that shocked the galaxy to its core. 5 human ships systematically destroyed the largest fleet ever assembled. Advanced alien technology proved useless against human innovation and determination. Within hours, the Grand Armada was nothing but wreckage floating in space. Of the 5,000 ships that had come to destroy Earth, fewer than 100 escaped to tell the tale of humanity's victory. In the aftermath, as rescue ships collected alien survivors, Captain Tejo broadcast a message that would be heard on every world in the galaxy. "People of the galaxy, I am Captain Tejo of the United Earth Fleet. Today you have witnessed the true power of humanity. We did not seek this war, but we have finished it. The age of alien dominance is over. Humanity has taken its place among the great powers of the galaxy." His words carried across space to 1,000 worlds, where alien leaders listened in stunned silence. The species they had dismissed as primitive had just destroyed the combined might of the Galactic Council. "From this day forward, human space is sovereign territory," Tejo continued. "Any attack on human colonies will be met with overwhelming force. We offer peace to those who wish it, but we will show no mercy to those who threaten innocent lives." Ambassador So Young stood beside Fleet Admiral Jae Sung in the war room, watching the tactical displays show alien fleets retreating from human space throughout the galaxy. The species that had once planned to exterminate humanity were now running from their own territories. "What happens now?" she asked. Admiral Jae Sung smiled. "Now we build the future. The galaxy has learned that humanity cannot be pushed around. They will want to negotiate, to trade, to learn from us. The age of human expansion is just beginning." Above Earth, the 5 Titan ships hung in space like monuments to human achievement. Around them, smaller human vessels emerged from hidden bases throughout the solar system. The secret fleet that had been built in the shadows was finally revealed. Captain Tejo looked out at the stars and saw a future full of possibilities. Humanity had proven itself through strength and courage. The galaxy was vast, full of wonders waiting to be discovered, and humans would explore it all, not as refugees or slaves, but as equals who had earned their place through determination and ingenuity. The day humanity's Titan warship rocked the galaxy was over, but the age of human greatness was just beginning. From the ashes of alien arrogance, a new galactic order would rise, one where strength was respected, weakness was protected, and humanity stood as a beacon of hope for all who believed in freedom and justice. The stars beckoned, and humanity was ready to answer their call.